Hey everybody, thank you so much for joining. Um, I'm hopeful that I can be heard. I see one video screen. Are you able to hear me okay? Okay, great. Beautiful. Thank you guys so much for joining here. We'll give it another second and wait for anyone else to be joining in here. All right, Robin's joining. See some great people that I really care about and appreciate that have supported me in my journey. So, well, cool. We'll go ahead and get started here, and if a few other people trickle in over the next little bit, that's totally cool too. So, yeah, I'm so grateful to be releasing this music into the world. It represents a culmination of, you could draw the line in different places, but for me, I feel like it's been at least a 5-year mark, even though a few of the songs came from an earlier era in my life. And I just hope that this evening can be about a connection through music and through song and the journey of healing and growth and transformation. And some other people are trickling in right now, so that's really cool. I am wearing many hats, not just this stylish 1940s newspaper boy hat. I'm also my own IT. I am doing the lighting and the makeup as well tonight. So this album represents Moon Rocks is a journey of my life that I've been on, particularly over the last several years, through some lower periods of time, some valleys of life, and a lot of the songs were written during a kind of a darker night of the soul. And I've used music in my life as a way to channel my experience. And one of my favorite quotes that I've ever heard about art in general is that art is wound turned towards light. For me, that's felt particularly resonant over the years. And so when I've been going through any challenging periods of time, I've often, apart from going to my meditation cushion, my altar, I often also go to my music as a place to let myself express what I'm going through. And so these songs, a lot of them came from that place, and also they came not just from a place of saying that that's all there is, but also even in the midst of sort of the darker, challenging times, they have also expressed a fundamental hope about the ultimate arrival point for myself and all of us, no matter what we're going through in life. And so ultimately, from my own intention or my own hope for this album is that, I believe we're all going through something in one way, shape, or form, and some more so than others. And so my true intention for this album is that I hope that whatever I have gone through in my life that has had elements of darkness, I hope that that album that I've written with some help of some amazing people, will be an opportunity for others who may be going through their own dark night of the soul to find out that they're not alone in that journey, and that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. And the album, the title Moon Rocks, comes from my dear friend Robin. He's joined here with us tonight as well. Robin is my dear friend, my producer. Before anything else, Robin's my brother, and then he just happens to be also an incredible musician and former bandmate and incredible producer and songwriter and musician in his own right. So the title Moon Rocks comes from Robin and I took a really beautiful retreat in January, February of this year up to Mendocino to do songwriting with one of our other brothers. And we were talking about the album, and I was telling him about some of the places I've gone in my life that have been kind of otherworldly, and either they're unique environment elements or challenging elements, but I've brought back from each of those places these really powerful lessons, and I've kind of felt like they've been like these kind of like gems or something. And Robin was like, yeah, like moon rocks, and it just clicked. Like that said so much. So you got the album cover, there with the gems, and I do think that our life experiences can be of that sort. So I invite you all as the listeners and my friends, my community, people that I really trust and care about. I invite you to hold that same intention for this music, that it may go find its place in the hearts and homes of anyone who may benefit in that particular capacity. So I'd like to start by sharing, perhaps some of you have seen it, but I thought it would be worth sharing the actual little mini documentary of our process of making the album, which was incredibly joyous. I had the real blessing and privilege to work with, like I said, Robin Applewood and a dear brother, Daniel Eric. I met Daniel about 8 or so years ago playing in prisons for music. We would bring our music through an organization called Bread and Roses into jails, drug rehab centers, homeless shelters. So I've had the privilege of playing on stage with Daniel Eric at San Quentin Prison. And then when we were all three together, we were looking for a drummer, and they, without a doubt, without reservation, mentioned you got to get this guy. He's amazingly talented, super cool also. Because for me, making music isn't just about can you play this chord fast and cool or jazzy, but it's about a heart-to-heart connection. It's a quite vulnerable process for me to make music with someone, and it's quite intimate. And so I needed someone I felt I could trust or would understand a deeper intention. So Aaron came on board and fit that bill. We made this really cool little video here, so I'd like to pull that up now and share that with you. And in hopes that the audio translates and all that stuff, if there's any issues, I trust your goodwill in the process. So, give you the making of Moon Rocks.
We got for the gram.
Yeah. And then the second time it goes longer extended chorus.
Home again, jiggity jig. Home again, jiggity jig.
Round and round it goes.
It's very healing to take one's own journey, and which feels very isolating and individual, put it into something that can be externalized, share it, and then other people can say, yes, like me too. It's a bridge.
Same surprise. I seriously have no sense of time. Let it out.
Talked about approaching this album in a different way, like from a lighthearted tone, like just kind of like just doing it for the joy, for the
Yes,
love.
also like conceptually like a little more stripped down sound, like not as much
Right.
overdub and layers.
Down to the harbor now. Boating more.
18.
How's it going? Incriminating shot.
I was just like so into like
Kind of felt like a bit of a sleepover vibe. Like we're just, sleeping here in the recording room overnight on little cots and going on walks, sharing some meals. The whole process has just felt really organic. Just kind of feels like a band of brothers.
These are some outstanding musicians. Really, it was kind of a home run derby.
Well, Chris is one of the most hardworking, while also zen people that I have ever met.
a moon rock for me is the experiences that we've gone through. I've lived a very unique life, I think, in certain ways. Like I've had very unique experiences, and from all of those I've harvested these lessons, and I call them moon rocks because it's like going to another planet and then bringing them back. One of the last lines in the album says, basically, I turned the moon rocks into stepping stones.
Not even the river Jordan could make me whole again, whole again. I've got to get home.
Live!
How will you heal your heart? You've been running for so damn long, trying to find the place where you belong. The quest of your searching heart haunts you like another planet. To me the prospect held great appeal. When I was Christopher, after rigorous testing, pokes and prods and plenty of patience, I was clear to join the colony. When I
Nate Dogg, the engineer, brother, amazing soul.
We go way back. Thanks, man.
Robin Applewood, many a mischievous experience together. Daniel and Aaron, who've newly found brothers. So.
And even if many nights still find me despondent to get here, no, not again, no. And though the earth may move beneath my feet, well, skywalkers, I'm coming for you. Skywalkers, won't you look below?
Yeah, love it. Thank you guys. Thank you so much. Man, yeah, Robin texted me during the video, said, oh, I want to do it again. Right there with you, man. Yeah, so I thought what I'd like to do now is kind of the format, have a couple of the, actually like wanted to showcase a couple of the songs, kind of talk through one or two of the songs, and I wanted to start with the song, I'm going to share my screen again. I actually wanted to show you guys what, in my view, is the true beginning of this album. This is not the actual maybe image you might conceive of when you're thinking of a rock star, but this was a time in my life when I was going through a really low period, and I used music as a tool to help me heal and transform and grow. So my dad took this picture of me, and he actually texted it to me today because I released the album, and he said, hey, remember this photo, because you had essentially said during that time, I'm going to record an album from my journey, what I'm going through. And so this is, you know, the culmination of that. So I had my purple cleaning gloves on, cleaning the toilets and writing music. So, hey, inspiration can strike wherever you think. So this first song I wanted to share with you guys and profile it. It's I Cannot Do Another Thing. It's the third song on the album, and there's a couple interesting things for me on this album. Sometimes when I write songs, I have to put more of my brain into it, and I have to like think about the crafting and the lyrics. Sometimes when I'm going through something, I'll just literally, I'll just go to the guitar or piano and I'll just express, and then a few times the song has just completely, basically fallen out, fully formed from me. And this song actually was the case for that. But what happened was, in the journey of writing that song, I'll play the excerpt for you first, and then I will say a little bit more about that. So stand by as I pull it up on my screen. I'll share it. I'm still kind of getting a little fluent in this kind of stuff, so hopefully it's okay. All right, so sharing, and then I think this will be it. Okay, so you're gonna hear, this is literally the first time I ever played this song. It was in 2023, and I wasn't really playing a song. I was just literally trying to express what I was going through. And you'll note the contrast in what I played here and what the final product became. So I'll just play like a little excerpt from it.
I see myself in this bar in Nashville, pursuing that dream. The days wait longer, and I shall not leave. I'm a man who's done a little good, but I walk through the life alone. How will I find my sense of safety? I surely do not always know.
Okay, so there you have that. Very raw, very just sort of introspective. And then one thing that happened in the evolution of this song is I went to play at a farmer's market up in San Francisco with one of my dear friends, Andy, and he was playing percussion. And so I was kind of playing this song, and he plays a lot of really cool grooves. And as he was playing it, I noticed people at the farmer's market were like dancing to it. And so I was like, oh my God, this song is so kind of more like, has a more like angsty sound to it, but there's this groove to it. And so I just thought, let's go with it. So that's how the song ended up becoming. And so here's the finished product of that song. Give you guys a decent chunk of it here. So.
I see myself on a stage in Nashville, oh, pursuing that dream. The days wane longer, and I shall not be released. I'm a man who's done a little good, but I walk through the life alone. How will I ever find my sense of safety? Well, I surely do not always know. Well, my uncles have now all gone through the portals of the grave. I will soon follow suit. Will I just be a footnote in somebody's biography about how I never made anything of myself? I try, but I resist. I've got questions on my mind. Well, I've tried to have music save me before. Writing a song seems to purge the soul. What else can I do if I don't do this? I just keep all of this bottled up inside. Well, I suppose I could go through life like I've got a big mask on, and I will be a good soldier, and I will surely soldier on.
Cool. I hope that didn't just cut you mid song there, but I thought just keep us moving in the interest of time. So
Love it.
thank you. Yeah. So
Catchy.
moving to a second song here. This one is another song that came out really cool on the album. I think it's called "What If It All Works Out," and this one actually the concept of it was, I was going through my own, challenges at a particular time, and I came across this YouTube video where this woman was talking about our minds can sometimes have like catastrophic fantasies in terms of why things were going to go so horribly wrong. And she invited the listener to consider the idea, like, what if it all works out? And I just love that, like, I love that phrase. It just was like, oh yeah, like, what if my mind's going down some kind of like darker path? Like, what if it actually goes like in a positive direction? And out of that came this song. So again, I'll play the thumbnail sketch, which was kind of the genesis of the song, when I was kind of just going to my guitar to try and is that a word? Catharsize. And I ended up playing a little chill riff, and I'll give you a little bit of that. And I think I'll also, this time when I play the actual recorded version, I will give you also the lyrics, which are up on the website. And I think for me, lyrics are one of the parts of my music that feel the most like important and meaningful. So here comes the thumbnail sketch of What If It All Works Out.
What if it all works out? What if it all plays out? What if it all works out? What if my dreams come true? What can you tell me? What if I feel right? Will it be alright? What if it all works out?
Okay, so again, I think a lot of my songs are, like the genesis of a lot of my songs come from that more like introspective space, and then there's like, when you add other members of a band or a group, they just kind of take on a life of their own. And so on that note, just pulling up this one other little lick that I wanted to share. When I was getting more into the actual writing of it, I was sitting at my piano, and I started to kind of come up with some licks, if you will. And the lick had kind of like a little bit of a groove to it. And when I did that, I kind of felt like this is becoming something a little more like funky and vibey. So this is like the version 2.0 of it. So here's kind of where it came out. Particularly, there's like this little like kind of like funky lick that I added in that I just sort of discovered. And that's something really joyous about the songwriting process, is to just literally be trying to find something, and then these little gems come out, and then you say, yeah, that's the path of the song. So
How will you heal your heart? You've been running for so damn long, trying to find the place. Yeah. What if when you see it do?
I wanted to show you this one little lick.
Ooh, what if it all works out? What if it's not the end? What if when you see it do? The lotus blooms. What if it all works out? Back to the trailer you go.
Yeah, so I actually didn't find the lick I was looking to share with you there, but that's all good. I trust your goodwill there. But here's the actual song, the way it came out. And this was like woodshedding it with Robin and Daniel up in Mendocino. And then it kind of started to take on this like kind of like really cool feel. So I'll give you a bit of this, a bit of What If It All Works Out. And get the lyrics. You can read along to the lyrics as it's played.
How will you heal your heart? You've been running for so damn long, trying to find the place where you belong. The quest of your searching heart haunt you like silent awe. So in the sweet arms you run again, but as you leap, the curtain is drawn. Phantasmagoria says it's over now. Whoa, whoa, whoa. What if it all works out? What if it's not the end? What if when you see doom, a lotus blooms? What if it all works out? So back to the trail you go, a little bit wiser now. Mistakes, put them in the past, and off you go, resume the quest to heal your heart. What's round the corner now? You see a rainbow, a pot of gold. It's shiny and sparkly, could this be the golden ticket you've been looking for? You reach out your hand to grab into smoke. The vision goes, it's over. Oh, now into smoke, into smoke. The vision goes up like a wisp of smoke. Ooh, 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 ah, da, da. Well, you know there once was the two old frogs in trouble, and the one gave up, but the other did double down. Oh, oh, he kept rolling and glowing and flowing and knowing and showing his crown. And the trail of tears you walk is bound to end in glory. Oh, you've got victory written upon your brow. Notice eyes weep no more, glide like swans in the blossom waters of bliss. Oh, in the blossom waters of bliss. So what if it all works out? What if it all works out? What if it's not the end? What if it's not the end? What if when you see doom, a lotus blooms? What if it all works out?
Yeah. Yeah, and thank you. And couple little cool facts. That sound of the birds chirping at the very end of the track, those were actually real birds that chirped. The last track we added on that was my piano. And when I finished playing that last chord, there happened to be birds chirping outside the door. And I thought that was such a cool way to end the track with, like, what if it all works out? And, like, I feel like birds give such a great indication that everything is going to be all right. So, yeah, and on that note, another cool thing about this album was that in the process of writing it, I was able to, through my wonderful piano teacher, who's also here this evening, Majana Jones, she encouraged me to get an actual piano. And so I had a 100-year-old piano, Steinway upright, refurbished from, like, kind of nothingness into this really nice, pristine quality, and then it got tuned and everything like that. So that was cool. So I'd like to invite to the floor my dear brother, brother from the same Divine Mother, Robin Applewood. And Robin and I go way back from touring in Indonesia and Australia together, to rocking out fat shows together, to playing on street corners together and doing a lot of things. And Robin's just been a dear brother. So Robin, just wanted to welcome you to the floor, let everybody get a chance to meet you, and maybe ask you a couple questions, maybe, just kind of cherry picking whatever comes to your mind, but some prompts here, talk about maybe how the project came together, also particularly of interest, I think, for people might be like your actual approach to recording, like how the process, the way you set up the studio, the way you help to get the best out of the artist. You do this professionally. Maybe any moment or two that you really particularly enjoyed from the making of Moon Rocks, and anything that like surprised you in the collaborative process, the creative process, and so basically whatever you want to say in that domain, and or more or not.
Thanks, Chris. Can you all hear me? Thumbs up. Okay, great. Well, first of all, congratulations. What an amazing album, Chris. I'm so proud of what we've been able to put together, and I'm so glad that we were able to bring your message out there to the world, as you say. And it's just beautiful music, beautiful lyrics, beautiful message. The players all brought 100%, and I couldn't be happier with how it all turned out. I was actually just kind of listening to it the other day, yesterday and this morning, just to kind of, I had a little space from it when we finished it a few weeks ago, and then I wanted to like re-listen to it and with fresh ears, and I was just, wow, like so blown away and just proud of it. So, and I would encourage everyone to listen on your favorite sound system and play directly from the Chris's website, because Zoom does pixelate everything significantly. So all the like nuances and where do we put this microphone? How do I set this EQ? The Steinway piano, it really gets crumpled through the Zoom medium. But anyways, just would encourage you all to listen to it and soak it in and enjoy it. But yeah, Chris came to me. What I forget when, it was last year, maybe sometime in the fall, and he said he wanted to make another album, and I was immediately just like, yes, let's do it. We had made an album a little while back called Lightworkers Union before Chris went off to down to San Diego, to SRF, and I thought that was going to be a final goodbye. So we're kind of making his swan song album, and that one I remember we put so much attention to all the details, and we really went all the way with that one, and added so many little nuances and ear candy all over it, and that was fun in its own way. But I thought for this one it would be fun to kind of take a more minimalistic approach, get some great musicians in a room and put the mics in the right places, and just kind of see what happens. And for the most part, that's what we did. We did a little bit of, kind of overdubbing and adding of layers, but we kept it pretty minimalist. And I'm really proud of how incredible it sounds with that approach. And it's a testament to the players that we put together, and to your music, and to just our experience and all of that. But yeah, when first thing I did was I had him send me a folder with some of his song ideas and some of his sketches. A couple of those you got to hear right now. And funny, because you played the What If It All Works Out, which was, I think you'd labeled them A, B, and C category. And it was like the A's were the top contenders, and the C's were kind of the like, I'm just going to put this in the folder anyways. And I'm pretty sure What If It All Works Out was one of those. And I went through the C's, and I was like, wait a second, like there's something in this one. And I think that was one of the ones that I bumped up, and I said, we should give this one some love. And yeah, so first we contacted Daniel, and I thought it would be good for us to kind of get together and kind of a retreat setting, and I brought a little drum kit up, and Daniel plays bass, and Chris brought his guitar, and there was a piano there, and we just went through all the songs. They were really like newborn babies at that point, and we had a chance to kind of play through them for a day or two, and it was very like quick. We were just kind of like, okay, let's try. All right, now this one. Okay, boom, 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 boom. So I mean, we didn't really do too much fleshing out at that point, but we did kind of every step just brings the songs a little bit more to life. And so that infant turned into like a toddler, and then we would listen back to those songs and make some notes. And then we found Aaron, who's a real drummer, unlike me. I'm good at faking it, but we had a real solid drummer join the picture, and we had a rehearsal together, the four of us. And I put all the mics up to record that rehearsal, as if, we were going to have some magic happen. So I kind of treated that as a recording session threw everyone into the fire. And I find that like with musicians who are very professional, have been doing it for a long time, sometimes the best way to like bring music to life is just to throw them into the fire and just say like, all right, go. 1, 2, 3, go. And that rehearsal like really brought that newborn baby to like, a teenager level. And I think that even the scratch vocals that you recorded in that kind of ended up being some of the vocal melodies that Chris ended up like singing at the end because of that inspiration in that moment. It was very unlike, a lot of processes you as a producer. You'll have someone come in the studio and you'll bring a guitar out and you'll kind of like, okay, let's try this. You'll spend hours and hours and hours trying to figure out the melodies and, where does like, what are you trying to say? And this was a lot more like, let's just let the inspiration, let's let the lightning strike. And it really worked out. And then what if it all works out? It did work out. After that rehearsal, I sent those recordings out from that rehearsal, and then we set up a recording date and we came into the studio. I set up in my living room. I set up most of the instruments in there, and then we were in the control room, me and Nate, and we, it was just magic. Like we did 5 takes maybe per song, and usually it was kind of the 4th or 5th take that we ended up going with because there was still some kind of like working it out that we had to do in the moment. But yeah, that's pretty much what you're hearing. I did, of course, mix some of the music, but we tried our best to kind of take an old school approach with the recording process and get the mics in the right place, get the EQs and the compression set. I used a lot of analog gear. I'm a big analog junkie. I like to get the sounds going in as close to possible as what is going to come out. But then we did some mixing and some mastering and kind of put the final polish on it. And that's what you're hearing. And yeah, when Chris came in and we were working on vocals, I was really impressed with just how like far he's come as a vocalist and as a musician. It was like just a couple takes, and it was cool to kind of witness how far we've come. I've worked with Chris for many years, and we've worked on a lot of projects together and played live together, and it's just amazing to witness, like looking back on it, like the level of just badassery that everyone's bringing to the table, and that I can just put people in a room and put mics up and say, all right, here's what we got, like, let's go. And we just took the fast track. And listening back to it, I mean, you can't even tell. It sounds like a band that's been together for 20 years. It's been playing these songs out on the road. And I'm just so happy with how it came out, Chris. And and really appreciate you, bringing this to me and entrusting me with your baby. And wow, it's how it's grown.
Yes, beautifully said. Everything. Wow. Thank you so much, man. You always add a layer, a facet that expands what I'm trying to do in the world so exponentially. And just even in the words you're saying now, it's like, yes, I wouldn't have thought of that. I couldn't have said that in the way you said it. And it did make me want to underscore that, as you said, just to make sure everyone's clear, the band had one rehearsal. We literally got into the room for one day, one afternoon, rehearsed it one time, and then that was it. So, I mean, to make this, I think, one of the best albums I think I've ever made with that as a mark is huge. And I do feel like, as you were mentioning, like we've worked together and you were talking about the songs themselves going from infants to teenagers, etc. And even the albums themselves, I feel like they themselves show one's own growth through that, spectrum. And I feel like, I've said this a few times, I always feel like an album is like, when you are in like, elementary, middle school, high school, you have your annual school shot taken, and you like, your mom sometimes like puts them in like a circle. I didn't have this for my mom, but like I've seen people do that, like kindergarten, first grade, second grade, and you like watch the person like evolve and like through the different hairstyles and like braces and all that stuff. That's how I feel like an album is. So yeah, like in like 10 years, I'll look back and be like, oh, like kind of like, look at that little kind of sweet, well-intended young man, doing his best, and still feel proud of it or whatever. But it's just cool, because that's how I look back on some of my my other music. So speaking of that, I wanted to take you into the next song to share in the album, which is called Baltimore. And before many of you know, some of you know, some of you know, I see a fan getting excited about the song Baltimore over there. Yeah, you should. Some of you know that before I was doing my more solo music projects, now I used to be a full-time touring musician in a band called Alma Desnuda, which is in Spanish, and it means naked soul. And we eventually changed it to Naked Soul because anytime we would say it's Alma Desnuda, which means naked soul in Spanish, you'd always have to add that like caveat. So we were in that band, and we had a song. We had actually 2 songs on the album, Baltimore and If You Have to Cry. And they were songs that the band was just starting to do, like right when we all kind of went our separate paths. And I've always had that in the like back pocket and wanted to do it. And so we brought this one to life. And so I wanted to share this one with you. And before doing so, before sharing the song, I wanted to give you a little bit of a flavor of some of like a little bit of that, a glimpse into that like realm of my life here. So I'm just pulling up this one particular folder, and I'm speaking so that it sounds like your attention is staying with me while I'm actually stalling. And oh, come now, where did you go, folder? Oh, I have it right here. 1 second. Yes, here we go. All right. Thank you for your... And sometimes if you speak in accents when you're trying to stall, people don't quite know it as well. But I wanted to take you through a little stroll of memory lane of some of the really great journeys I had in my band. Again, this is through the Dropbox platform. Maybe there's better ways of sharing it. But this was Patricia. This was our 40-foot blue school bus that we toured around the entire United States with. It was retrofitted with beds and like storage lockers and a rack on top for our gear and all this like crazy stuff. So we went on tour. Robin was our tour manager at that time, which was awesome. And he was also not just the tour manager, the like ace in the hole guitar player. This is how far Robin and I go back together. Little babies. That's so cool. Here's some rock star photo album shoots here. This photo was taken during one of our shows in San Francisco, and after that, I saw that photo. I said, "Okay, I can retire now. I have a photo of me, looking like a rock star." It wasn't all glory in the band. We played a lot on the street. This is us on the Santa Monica Promenade. We played some really beautiful festivals. This is in Montana at the Peace Festival of the Garden of a Thousand Buddhas. There's Robin, there's myself. It's a beautiful singer from Tibet. And he just is like a really amazing soul. Sering is his name. And here's a little tidbit that I think is one of the coolest things ever. If you zoom in, that is literally a naked baby on stage, hanging out with us, rocking out, and it was fitting for our band called Naked Soul. We played at the Great American Music Hall. It's a really renowned venue in San Francisco. And then here's a few shots of me and Robin kind of jamming out over the years on stage. Just loving sharing the vibe. We weren't above wearing pink tutus and other accoutrement to have a good old time with people, and brought a lot of joy to a lot of people's lives. We rocked out some fat shows. This is a sold out 5th anniversary show at the Starry Plow, and just going for it. Loving that. Robin and I enjoying some time. More of that similar good vibe feel. This was a photo shoot the band did putting out the hat, busking for money. That was how we made a lot of our gas money to get to the next town. Here's a tour poster on the 2011 Riders Tour. Here's all the states we went to. We had our CD release party at Slim's. Some other photo shoots. And then Robin officially joined the band and perfected his Ben Stiller model, smoky model look. Another cool little photo shot. And playing in Central Park in New York. And yeah, another shot. This is the Boom Boom Room in San Francisco. And yeah, just having a lot of fun. So, with having shared that, yeah, I will share my screen here, and we can listen to the song Baltimore. And actually, not just listen to the song, but I've been kind of experimenting with some of the joy of making. I was just experimenting yesterday on a platform to make my own music video. So here's a very rudimentary music video that I made for Baltimore.
Home again, jiggity jig. Home again, jiggity jig.
Round and round and round it goes. I never know what day it is. Round and round the same surprise. I seriously have no sense of time. Let it out. This hotel carpet mesmerized. Here it comes. I must have been mistaken. Light it up. I wonder what the city's for, what it's for, what it's for, what it's for. Here it comes, that feeling of intoxication. Chase it down, for it's the only road that leads to Baltimore, and more with the same surprise.
Home again, jiggity jig. Home again, jiggity jig.
What's your Baltimore, baby? What's your Baltimore, baby? It's the city that walks and talks fast. The city is lax. I can relax. I can relax. I feel here it comes, that feeling of intoxication. Chase it down, for it's the only road that leads to Baltimore. I wanna go there. Baltimore, get a ticket to Camden Yards. Baltimore, on down to the harbor now. Baltimore.
All right. Thank you. As I exit the full screen share. Yeah, thank you guys very much. That was fun to put together. Kind of just do my own little music video there. And for me, the meaning of that song too. Baltimore, my dad's side is from Maryland, and I grew up as a kid going to Baltimore. So the chorus says, "Here it comes, that feeling of intoxication, chase it down, for it's the only road that leads to Baltimore." And for me, there's a special feeling about that for me, whatever your Baltimore is. So what's your Baltimore, baby? What's your Baltimore, baby? And at the beginning, there's two times in the song that says, kind of like almost a chant. People have asked me about it. Home again, jiggity jig. Home again, jiggity jig. And my grandmother, we weren't necessarily particularly all that close, but that's one thing I always remember. Whenever we'd turn right on the final turn into their street down in Timonium, Maryland, she would always say, home again, jiggity jig. So it's a little nod to her. So I have one more song I wanted to profile for you. And that song is Drinking from the Well. And this song for me was particularly meaningful. And I think this song actually came the furthest in terms of it being just kind of a thumbnail sketch to becoming, in my opinion, like one of my favorite songs on the entire album. So I'll play this thumbnail sketch for you of that song, and then we'll play the song. And for me, I have often described meditation, the process of meditation, or going within and touching that peace that one finds, as if I'm drinking from a well, a deep well, some kind of peace that I'm able to touch in my own life, some kind of nourishment that I seem to not be able to find anywhere else in this world except for that interior meditation. And so this whole song is basically that, although I don't think you would necessarily put this on if you were looking for a meditation song, because it's more of like a jam and a groove. And something really cool that I liked in this song was that I was towards the very end, right when it breaks into this kind of more like Motown outro, I was writing the lyrics, and I was, in my mind, I was like writing this line like, okay, I had 98% of exactly where I wanted, and I was like, I need a line to take me home. Like I was trying to think about a line to take me home, and then I thought, that's perfect. Like, I need a line to take me home. Has like multiple layers of meaning for me. So my own musings about songwriting found their way into the song at the very end. So I will share the thumbnail sketch of Drinking from the Well. And these are all from a couple years ago. And this was almost as much of the song as I had when I brought it to Robin and Daniel. And then they really, really helped it come to become something that I think is just one of the coolest songs on the album. So here's back in 2023, me humming. This is the first time I just heard it, and I just had to capture it in my little voice memo.
I'm drinking from the well. I'm drinking from
So you see, songs can be born from the most kind of smallest of seeds. So we'll take a quick listen to "Drink from the Well," and then we'll start to move towards the closure here. But I'll invite you to take a look at the lyrics as well, which for me I think are some of my favorite lyrics that I wrote for the album as well.
I'm drinking from the well, drinking from the well. I'm drinking from the well, drinking from the well. When my heart races and my mind is wall to wall, and I don't understand the ways of this crazy world. I'm spinning round, I'm drinking from the well, I'm drinking from the well, I'm drinking from the well, drinking from the well. When my soul is is a desert land. Not even the river Jordan could make me whole again, whole again. I got to get home. Well, drinking from the well, I'm drinking from the well, drinking from the well. Man, walk on down over yonder, take ye a sip from that sacred well. That thirst, you know. Did you walk on the fire now, but still feel cold within? Did you drink from every river, but your thirst remained the same? Did you sail the far horizon, but fail to see within? Did you climb the highest mountain, but hear no echo of your name? I searched the whole wide world, I went everywhere I could. I laid my armor on the ground. These blind alleyways have lured me in the dark of night, and now I need a light to take me home. I'm drinking from the well, 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 well, I'm drinking from the well, and I'm drinking from the well, and I'm drinking from the well, I'm drinking from the well, I'm drinking from the well, Lord, I'm drinking from the well, I'm drinking from the well, I'm drinking from the well.
All right. Yeah. So I had one other thing I wanted to share with you guys before we do kind of just the final, like I'll open it if there's any Q&A or any comments. So give me 1 second and I'll be right there. All right, can y'all see me? Can y'all hear me? All right, cool. All right, it's getting my little audio dialing in here. All right, cool. Can you hear? Okay. All right. So the first song on the album is called Skywalkers, and we did it in this really cool full band way. And then as I kept working, this is the piano that I was telling you about, by the way. And then as we kept working on the songs, I would kind of work on them at my own place and stuff like that. And as I worked on this particular song, I was like, man, this song sounds nice, like solo. So when Robin came over to record the piano, I thought, hey, could we do this as well? So the last song on the entire album is the solo version of this Skywalker's piano. And so I thought I'd give it to you here.
Skywalkers, can you hear me now? From this bottomless pit I fell down. Though I'm bloody lost my crown, my voice like thunder still resounds. I'll make it to the mountain top, but to the darkness I shall rise. Skywalkers, I'm on your heel, 'cause I got grace and I've got wheels. This ain't a joke, it ain't a trick. No matter what, rise and walk and take one more step. No matter the darkness, I shall rise. And even if many nights still find me despondent, again, no, not again, no. Although the earth may move, leave my feet where skywalkers. I'm coming for you. Oh, skywalkers, won't you look below? Can you see the way that my torch glows? Many roads may need to pass. I'll be the first, 'cause I was last. Oh, not to the darkness I shall rise.
Thank you all, everybody, so much. Thank you so much. It's so great to be with everybody and yeah, receive the love, or feel your love. Thank you so much. So yeah, if if you have any comments or questions or anything, I totally welcome that right now. But that kind of concludes the formal part of the program. The last thing I'll say is I did, as several of you are aware, I did launch a fundraiser for the album and have been blessed and fortunate thus far to date, June 21st. I set a $10,000 goal and I've already been blessed to receive like $8,600 of that. So I'm so grateful. That just kind of helps offset the cost of the album. And so if you feel inclined to share that with anyone in your network, that would be much appreciated. But I'm more than that, as I was saying at the beginning, I'm just so grateful for the opportunity to express music as a healing, transformative journey for my own self, and to share it with people that I love and care about. And I really hope that, as I said, these songs will go to the hearts that need it most. And so thanks for holding that intention with me, and however that unfolds, may it be so. And special thanks to my brother Robin Applewood in so many levels, been there for me, and the great talent that we had around us, Aaron, Daniel, Nate, and also the videographer Skylar, and many others. So that concludes the formal program. Thank you so much for helping me to launch Moonrocks into the world. So grateful.
I have a question. I have a question.
Chris?
I have a question, Chris. Can you hear me? Can anyone hear me? Can you hear me, Chris? No?
And happy summer solstice to everybody. And happy Father's Day.
What's your
Are there any comments or questions? Or shall we just sit here looking at each other, silently smiling and sending weird emojis?
Can't hear it.
I think that you can't hear us, Chris.
Oh, I don't know if I'm hearing. Let me go back to my other layer.
Hey, Chris.
Ah,
Can you hear us now?
yes.
Um, no, I want to hear from other people, but I had a question for you, if you don't mind. What's next for you? What's next for the album? How are you planning on reaching people, and how can we help?
Thank you so much. Love that question. Yeah, there's been a lot of pushing the album, The Boulder Up the Hill, and getting it to this moment to literally release it, from the mixing, mastering, the finances, the social media side of things, all that. So I'm literally just here. I emailed my network. I put it on Facebook. That's as much as I've really done. And so I welcome other, if people have ideas or want to get involved in certain ways, like I'm game for all of that. So that's as much as I've taken it thus far.
I was curious to know, like, when I'm on, so I use Apple Music, and when I'm on there, there's another artist that comes up that's similar to what I was listening to. And that's like so helpful because I find new artists all the time, and I really it's fun for me to like to listen to new artists or maybe younger artists that have just started or whatever. And I'm just wondering if you have that with Apple Music. Is that like a standard thing that Apple Music does with like all artists?
Yeah. So yes, and as you're, thanks for reminding me that. I'm going to stop the recording just for the QA part. So stopping recording.